Too late.
Oh, okay. Hi, we're live. Also, I did not have time to turn off the filter I had turned on because I wanted to make Sarah laugh.
It does make me laugh.
Okay, good. I also forgot it was on. It makes me happy because look at me like this. Makes me laugh. Also, I think my hair looks really good in this filter. But okay, we will turn that off. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Maidens of the Sphere, our Twitch channel where we talk about Wheel of Time and we have a really good time. That's right. Sarah is busy making us a professional-looking document because we are responding to Jordan's challenge.
Bodhi's challenge.
I forget what the challenge is called, but it is the challenge.
We're doing Redeema Sadai's accepted test. We were challenged by just on Bodhi's opinion.
Yes. I'm very excited for that. It's going to be super fun.
And what else are we going to talk about today, Mary Lou?
We're also going to talk about some other stuff today. Plenty of stuff. I am really looking forward to talking about the Steppenwolf theory of the show and the books. I have thoughts.
You have thoughts.
But we got a little bit of a teaser from the Wheel of Time official Instagram this week, and it caused a bit of a kerfuffle on Twitter of Time. And I want to talk about it because I have thoughts and feelings. Essentially.
You have thoughts and feelings.
I have lots of thoughts and feelings usually. If you're here, say hi in the chat. What's
up? Why are we getting an echo?
I would like that to stop. And I did stop it.
Good
job,
okay,
Mary Lou.
Job, Mary Lou.
I see Sarah has chosen another creative Asha for the day. Last week it was like what, ochre? I didn't even ask what ochre Asha would be.
I was ochre Asha for a while, but now I'm charcoal Asha.
Now you're charcoal Asha. Now we're getting very earthy. We're getting really gritty with ochre and charcoal. What are we going for there, Sarah? With the
charcoal Asha. Okay, here's what I'm seeing. The charcoal Asha is it's very much not the black Asha. Okay.
Glad to hear it. Also confused because the black Asha doesn't exist.
Yeah, the charcoal Asha. This is like the artisan Asha. Yeah, these are the Ashas that, they're like the combination of art historians and art creators themselves. They use the one power to make incredibly beautiful sculptures and statues, things like that. This is the charcoal Asha this week.
Love that for the charcoal Asha. And what was the ochre Asha? Let me guess.
You can guess.
The ochre Asha are like gardeners. They love gardening and farming and raising plants and being in like the dirt and stuff.
And you know what,
Mary Lou? I'm sticking to it.
You're 100% correct.
Am I really?
Oh yeah.
We're best friends, you guys. We are best friends. Did you see that mind meld? That was amazing.
That mind meld?
Did you see that mind meld?
I apologize, people. I'm a little distracted because I'm just really quickly whipping up a little PowerPoint slide to make it easier for us to go through Redeema's accepted test, which I'm very excited to do.
I'm also excited.
Yeah.
I want to be part of the cool Twitter of Time kids.
Yeah, who doesn't want to be part of the cool Twitter of Time
Sarah,
kids?
you are definitely part of the cool Twitter of Time kids.
Me?
You had a obscenely viral tweet this week. You are a menace on Twitter of Time in the last couple of days with your mispronunciation.
That's true.
Tweets.
That's true. I'm causing all sorts of trouble.
I'm
funny. Not little stink, but I am a little
You're
stinker.
not little stink, but you are a little stinker. Causing quite a bit of a stir. I am gonna subtweet you. I'm gonna out you to our whole audience of no one. That
We have an audience. We got 3 viewers with us right now.
okay? Well,
Say
mine
hi
said
in the
one, and
chat
I'm
if you're
pretty sure it's
watching.
me.
What? No, we got multiple people.
All right, multiple people. Prove me wrong. Love that.
Thank
Love to be
you.
proved wrong.
Yes.
I am gonna out you then to our 3 viewers that
Good.
the mispronunciation of Nynaeve that you wrote is the real way you thought Nynaeve was pronounced for like what, 10 years?
A long time.
A long time. Many years. Many years. Sara did pronounce Nynaeve Nineveh.
Which is fair. I am far from the only one. And I
You were
know
far
that.
from the only one. However, I want to say, like other sane human beings who read the book, I pronounced it Nineve.
No, that's insane.
No, it's not. That's the way it's spelled.
That's an insane pronunciation.
No,
Nineveh makes so much more sense.
They're both wrong, but one makes a lot more sense, and it's Nineve.
Nynaeve, right? Exactly.
And somebody justify me here. Who else thought it was Nineve? Let's go.
Nobody.
Come on, folks.
I have a
Back
feeling
me
you're not
up.
going to get any backup in the chat.
I'm gonna get tons of backup. Okay, is it more likely Nineve or Nineveh?
Nineveh makes so much more sense. It's a fantasy world.
Nineveh,
baby.
Nineve. I might name my firstborn child Nineve. That's a beautiful name.
Oh, don't you dare do
You know
that
what
to
I'm
your
not gonna name
poor
my firstborn
child.
child? Nineveh.
Because you're a dang clown.
I'm not a clown. That would be pink Asha, and I'm not pink Asha. I'm green Asha.
Marilu, let us venture forth.
Let us. Oh, are we ready to venture? I love to venture.
First of all, we're always ready to venture. We're ready to venture at the drop of a hat.
Great point.
We're not quite ready to venture. But
okay, then I'm going to show everyone my amazing mug. Who remembers Happy Bunny? Speaking of little menaces, it's
okay,
cute
Mary
how
Lou.
you think I'm listening. So rude.
So rude.
Such a
wow.
rude little Happy Bunny. And just to emphasize that, I am not listening.
Did you listen to ACCast?
Not yet.
Oh, it's really good. You'll like it.
Does Happy Bunny come up? Paul Frank?
Happy Bunny doesn't come up, but it's all about Kathy. So it's like they have a similar brand identity.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Kathy's not as rude though.
No, Kathy's not rude at all, but just like that kind of like, you know what I mean?
Sassy
Kath. But we're not here to talk about Kathy. No, we're here to talk about the Wheel of Time. And we're here to have a really good time. And we're also here to to view this PowerPoint. I want to be able to see it. I don't want to see shit. How do I just look at this PowerPoint? Nice and simple.
Love this. You know what, Asha? We're not the
tech
Chrome Asha.
The Chrome
we are
Asha.
not the Chrome Asha.
No, we're not. We are not the Chrome Asha.
I want to come up with cool.
Give us some Ashas. Give us some cool Ashas, Mary
Asha. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm Mary Lou, and I'm in the.
Okay. No. Oh, I forgot to change it from 3. Fudge. We were almost ready.
The done Asha.
The done Asha, like a horse.
I'm a horse girl. This is the horse Asha.
This is the horse Asha. This is the animal husbandry Asha. If the ochre Asha is all about plant life, the done Asha.
Hi, little stink stink.
No, little stink stink. Of course we want to see shit.
Of course we want to see shit.
But only when it's you. We
specifically,
generally we don't want to see shit.
Specifically a lil stinky shit. Okay?
Yeah.
But no other kinds. That's fair. Thank you. We really try to be fair. We're tough, but we're fair. People say that all the time. They tell us all the time.
You do smell like daisies.
That's right. Smell like daisies.
It's what we love about you.
That's canon. That's canon. Little stink smells like daisies.
So we are going to get into the accepted test.
Oh boy, here we go.
So, hello. Let's
Look at
introduce
this
it.
professional looking
We're professional.
PowerPoint. Good job, Sarah.
Thank you. It was just going to be a Google Doc, and then I was like, we can do better than a Google Doc. Hello, and welcome to the Wheel of Time, where we're not the Wheel of Time. I'm going to try that again. Hello, and welcome to Maidens of the Spear, where we talk about Wheel of Time, and we have a really good time. And today we're doing Redeema's accepted test, because we were challenged by just somebody's opinion, and we thought we might not be somebody, but we could still give our opinions.
That's right.
So let's do it. And we got Little Stink Stink in the chat.
Hi, Little Stink Stink. Smelling like daisies, making the chat smell like daisies.
My favorite way for a chat to smell. Mary Lou of the Dun Aja.
Yes.
How did you first hear about the Wheel of Time, and what made you want to read it?
Well, great question. I'm glad you asked. I'm shocked you don't remember because you told me
I did?
About the Wheel of Time. It was you.
It was me all along?
It was you all along. Sarah and I have been friends for years, and I grew up loving fantasy. Huge fantasy nerd. Read all of the series. But it was kind of just like my thing. I didn't really have anybody to share it with. Love fantasy. It's a huge nerd for it. Dragons, magic, give me that. You know what I mean? And one day we were talking and Sarah was like, well, then have you read Wheel of Time? And I was like, no, I've never even heard of it. And she was like, you have to read it. And she gave me her copy of Eye of the World, which is like her copy, you know,
my copy
you got when you were what, 14?
14.
And I just held on to it. I literally was just like, thank you so much.
She won't give it back.
A year. Yeah, and I wouldn't give it back. You were like, give me that book. And I was like, no, I'm going to read it.
You've had it for like 3 years.
3 years? I know I had it for a year before I started.
When did you go to Australia?
I went to Australia in 2018.
Yeah, because you brought it to Australia and it's 2021.
No, I know. So I know I've had it for that long, but I mean, even before I went to Australia, I had it for like a year.
Yeah, and I kept asking her, like,
and you were like, have you read it yet? And I was like, no, leave me alone. And because I was like, you know, you first see that cover and you're like, oh boy, this is going to be dorky. Right now, I'm obsessed with the cover art. It's one of my favorite things about the whole series. Screw the new modern pretty covers that like are elegant and gorgeous.
We're going to talk about cover art. There's another question about cover art.
Okay, great. Then we'll get to it. But I was like, oh boy. And then I went to Australia on tour and I needed something to read. And I put that in my backpack. And that is how I started reading Wheel of Time. One day behind the stage, which was a giant circus tent. So I Little Stink Stink, I'm reading in the chat. Team Sarah. No! Okay, I'm gonna find my people, mine and Nave people. I'm gonna find mine and Nave people. But yeah, we read Wheel of Time on a folding chair behind a giant circus tent in Australia. Okay, there we go, Lionheart Leah. Lionheart Leah says, that's how I say it. What's wrong with that? Great question. What is wrong with that, Sarah? Huh? Little Stink Stink?
What's wrong with that is that it's
now we're even, right? 2 on 2, baby. Yeah. I pronounced it in the Nave. I will tell you, Lionheart Leah, I don't want to break your heart or anything. It is canonically Nynaeve.
Yeah, that's the right pronunciation. We were both equally
I think Nynaeve makes a lot of sense, and it sounds gorgeous.
Yeah. Well,
Little Stink Stink, how are you not a fan of the cover art? Oh, we'll talk.
I guess I will answer number 1 now.
Yes, please.
I also was a wee little fantasy nerd. I started reading Xanth by Piers Anthony when I was like 8 or 9.
Way too young because that series is not appropriate. And also Piers Anthony is like a Nazi?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. And then I like burned through, obviously I read Harry Potter. I burned through like the Discord series. Terry Pratchett is like my first true love.
Terry Pratchett raised me.
And I like read them all in middle school. And as I was leaving middle school, I was done with Discworld, unfortunately, and I was all sad and stuff. So my mom went to Barnes and Noble and asked the dude at Barnes and Noble, "Hey, my kid needs a new fantasy series. Well, what should they read?" And he was
Oh
like,
my
"Oh,
god.
I have the series for you."
I didn't
And
know you had like a
uh,
Barnes and Noble guardian angel.
I did, and exactly, um, that series was Malazar. No, I'm just kidding. That series was The Wheel of Time. And she brought it home to me and she gave me The Eye of the World and she was like, "Try this, you'll like it." And I was like, "What do you know?" And I didn't read it for a while. And finally I picked it up and it took me a long time to get through The Eye of the World. But once I finished The Eye of the World, I could not stop. And I just like read the rest of the series, which at that point only went up through book 11. And I like finished the series. I finished book 11 like literally the week Robert Jordan died. I like finished it. And then I came home from school one day and my mom was like, "I have some really bad news." It was heartbreaking.
It's really special though.
Spent a long time on tarvalin.net back in the day, that role play community, all sorts of fun stuff. And it was really exciting being part of like the fan theory community before the Brandon books came out.
Totally. Yeah,
Um,
as a fan that came to it after all 14 books were written and published, and as an adult, right? Uh Lionheart, hold on, I gotta stop. You are gassing me up and I love it. Lionheart Leah says Mary Lou has only good opinions, apparently. It's crazy, but I agree. Another good opinion of mine.
it's true. Are you ready for question 2, Mary Lou?
Ready for question 2. So
Okay.
ready.
If you had the chance to join an Aja in the White Tower, which would you join?
Okay, so we do have a YouTube video where we discussed what Asha we would be. So I won't go into too much detail of it. I will say that I started that video thinking that I would be in the blue Aja because I love politics. I love all of that nonsense. I love gossip, right? Blue Aja is all about gossip. And but then I realized that I don't think the blue Aja got enough attention. And I love attention. And you know who's always center stage, always on the front lines, you know it, Green Aja, Battle Aja. So I love, tragically, my fatal flaw, I love men. And so that's what is that but green. I think I changed over the course of that video in our discussion. I think I'm
you'd be a
green.
good Green Aja member.
Thank you.
You're
What would you be,
feisty.
Sarah?
You got some spirit. Maddie, not Maddie, Mary Lou.
That's me.
Maddie's my girlfriend.
Yes.
Mary Lou's not my girlfriend.
I'm
Mary
your friend
Lou's
girl.
my friend girl, as my grandma would call it. Mary Lou keeps trying to imply that I'm white Aja.
Okay.
Which is false. I'm not white Aja.
Philosophy major.
Yeah.
Literally talks with me for fun about the existence of God and whether sheep have souls.
Okay, but white Aja in the books don't do that shit. You know?
What do they do in the books?
Like, I'm not about, like, I feel like I'm not pragmatic enough to be white Aja.
Oh, because you're more theoretical?
Yeah, I feel like I am, if I'm limited to the Ajas in the Wheel of Time, I don't really like any of them. I think I might have been like yellow Aja and then just tried to set up like a traveling clinic as an excuse to see the world.
That's
or
true.
Like,
Sarah is in law school because she's a bleeding heart liberal and she wants to like help people, which is amazing. And that's very yellow. That's very yellow Aja.
But to spoil our YouTube video we did about this, well, the main Aja we think is missing is the pink Aja, the public
Aja.
outreach
I would
Aja.
I would call it the gold Aja.
Whatever it is, the public outreach Aja, the entertainers Aja,
the propaganda wing Aja.
Yeah, well, you can call it propaganda, outreach. You can call it community relations, but these Aja performers who go around all Gandalf style, setting off fireworks shows, and like, look, Moiraine gets the whole dang village of Immen's Field to like shut up and listen to her tell the story of Manetheren with her spinning fire staff and stuff.
And it changes the course of that
Exactly. And that should be a whole
interaction.
dang Aja.
Agreed.
That's what I would really want to be.
Totally.
Question 3. Ready?
Yes, so ready.
Let's do it. If the Black Tower had Ajas, what would they be? And let's say like Black Tower has Ajas going into Tarmangaidon. Like we're not going to predict after the events of the series.
Okay, going into Tarmangaidon. I mean, they'd kind of all be battle Aja.
Yeah, a lot of battle Aja.
Lot of battle Aja. If they had a green, it would be friggin' green as hell. A lot of greens in there.
That's true. I like Little Stink Stinks Ajas, the Axe Body Odor Sense Aja, the Resting Car Engine Aja. That's true. Like they don't have to be based
Never
on
ask
color.
for directions Aja.
Yeah, Black Aja basically would have like healers and warriors, and then they'd have a whole Aja for annoying characters who were forced into the series that bother me, which would just be Andral.
Right. Which we have another YouTube video talking about.
Yes. He would be his own Aja.
Yeah, so maybe they'd have battle Aja and a support Aja, maybe.
I think they would also have a construction Aja, like they're building the Black Tower community.
Yeah, like an engineering Aja.
Yeah,
a
like
lot of them
engineers,
are focused
architects.
on like innovation and like pushing. Yeah, so maybe a battle Aja, support Aja, and an engineering Aja. That also feels very.
I think there'd be two. I think there'd be like the support class Aja, the battle Aja, the like architect and construction Aja, and then there'd be a separate R&D Aja, which would be like researching ways to make like new weaves, new magical weapons, that sort of thing.
Uh-oh, Sarah. Uh-oh. Little Stink says, you don't like Andral?
I don't dislike Andral.
Shirt order.
I don't dislike Andral. I was annoyed after waiting so long for book 12 that so much time was spent with this new character when I like wanted to learn more about Robert Jordan's characters.
Yeah, we came to a really good conclusion where like I liked Andral and I liked his function in the series. However, it is pretty clear that he is a, author insert character. He is Brandon Sanderson. And we both agreed that that role that Andral played should have been played by Logan.
Yeah, it means that Logan had no story.
Logan. Was supposed to be this huge character, this interesting, and was set up to be fascinating and very interesting. And then we kind of got like no real time with him. And we spent all this time with Andral, who's like a guy I don't know or care about. And the leader of the Black Tower should have been Logan as the sort of foil to Mazrim Taim, right? And that kind of never happened. I thought that would have been a really interesting dynamic and probably should have. That would have been better storytelling, to be honest.
It all got pushed into the off page of Andral's POV chapters.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot I like about Andral. I do like. I think it would be impossible for someone like Brandon Sanderson, who is himself like a creative fantasy writer who is overflowing with ideas, and especially Brandon Sanderson specifically in the ways he likes to toy with magic systems.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wouldn't have been reasonable to expect him to like
not
write 3 massive novels and not contribute something creative. I just think the balance was off on how much time we spent with him. But that's Andral. But this isn't about Andral. This is about dun dun. Who's a character you love but would hate to meet in real life? It's okay. It's okay, Little Stink Stink. You can love Andral. I'm not against people who love Andral. I have nothing against the character per se. Little Stink Stink says Codswan.
Ooh, Codswan. Yeah, I was just thinking, I was honestly like, my first gut instinct was Nynaeve, because people bossing me around, somebody telling me what to do, puts me on edge. But honestly, I think I would grow to love her. I am a Pisces. So Sarah loves talking about horoscope stuff. Everybody talk to Sarah about horoscope stuff.
Please don't.
Did you see that eye roll? That was a very white Aja eye roll.
Oh my God.
But I think I would grow to love her just because she is so lovable and deeply good. Who's a character I love but would hate to meet in real life? Cad Swan is a great.
For similar reasons to Cad Swan and what you were saying about Nynaeve, I would hate to meet Egwene when she's like all Amerlin and stuff, because again, I don't respond well to authority, and she's kind of the ultimate authority. Also would hate to meet most of the Forsaken because I'm a coward and they scare me.
Love
And
those characters though.
I would hate to meet Darthrand
Darth
because
Rand,
he's
scary.
scaly. He's scaly.
He's very scary. I would hate to meet. I'm trying to think. Characters I love.
I would hate to meet in real life.
I would hate to meet in real life. Honestly, ooh, maybe
Would you get
loyal.
flushed? Little Stink Stink asks if they would get flushed if they said they were annoyed by Jesus Rand.
You would not get flushed.
No, you wouldn't get flushed.
No, that makes
Galad
sense
would
to
be
me.
annoying as hell. But
But
Lionheart
see,
Leah,
I don't love the character of Galad.
yeah. Do you love
So,
Galad?
I would hate to meet in real life. He sounds awful.
You know who I would love to meet in real life and have a fulfilling relationship with is Min.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Min would be a lot better in real life than she is in the books. I think I would love Min in real life.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have a controversial one.
Okay.
Matt.
Yeah, kind of a womanizer.
Because if I met him in real life, he'd probably hit on me, and I would be furious.
He would 100% hit on you.
It would take some time to get to know Matt, and then I'd love him, obviously. But like scoundrel Matt would probably piss me the fuck off.
He would hit on you. And the other thing about Matt is like so much of what we love about Matt is only because we have his internal narrative.
Yeah.
And like
he treats women weirdly sometimes.
He treats women weirdly, and he's like a soldier. Like that's really not my personal vibe. Lionheart Leah says that
I'm like not into gambling.
Well, I'm into gambling.
Yeah, Sarah has a weird like gambling addiction.
Lionheart Leah wants to get down with Padden Fane, which okay, if that's what you want.
Oh, that's a character I love but would hate to meet in real life. He's so scary. The way he talks to himself, his Gollum Smeagol thing. Are you kidding me? That would give me the heebie-jeebies. So scary. And I love that character deeply. He's so good. And by good, I mean very bad.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of great answers to that one.
Who's a character from another book that would make a good warder? And I'm going to end before Aragorn.
Oh, great. I don't want to talk about Aragorn. Of course he'd make a good warder.
Yeah, I mean, he's just land.
He's literally just land. He's literally the king, you know, the return of the king. I took me a second to think about this one, but I came up with a really good one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Brienne of Tarth.
Ooh, I love that.
Brienne of Tarth. She takes the oath to Catelyn. She goes to the ends of the earth to protect Sansa.
Hell yeah. She is a freaking warder.
She is a warder, essentially, but with no special powers. Yeah. Imagine Brienne with warder powers.
Yeah,
you would be unstoppable. She would be such a killer warder. Plus, female warder, so you get rid of all of that weird, male thinking that get them in trouble.
Yeah. It is, on that note, it's wild to me that the Red Asha didn't have female warders. But anyway, that's
I think they lost the ability to because I'm going into theory. I think because the world of Wheel of Time is so gender separated and so binary in gender that they literally lost the concept that female people could be warders, right? They just were like, well, things have to balance out. So warders can only be men because magic users can only be women.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
that's my theory.
It's a good theory, but Brienne of Tarth is a fantastic answer. I don't know that I can have a better one. Oops. Okay, character from book that would make a good warder. Lil Stink Stink says any of the main characters from Belgariad is a kick-ass warder. I haven't read Belgariad, but I believe you.
Dragons of
Geralt.
Turn.
Geralt for
Young Master
sure.
Harper Robinson would be
I'm
a
trying.
great
Oh, sorry.
warder.
We'll get to that. What series we should read? That'll be another question, and you can yell at us then. I'm trying to avoid like characters who do magic themselves when I'm thinking about who would be a good warder.
Uh-huh.
Good.
I think
Lil Stink
Geralt
Stink.
is a really good,
Geralt's a great answer.
great answer.
Yeah. I think like Garen or any of them sword boys from League of Legends would be great. It's not a book though.
Not a book.
Captain Carrot from the Discworld series would be a fantastic warder.
Captain Carrot would be so good.
Yeah. He'd
so
be a great
good.
warder.
But so would, honestly, so would Vimes.
Vimes would know. Yeah, the two of them would be like a great combo, like warder combo.
Great warder team.
Uh-huh.
Would love to have Vimes and Carrot as a warder team.
Lionheart Leah says Obi-Wan, and sure. Yeah, obviously. I'm kind of assuming like once they're transported into the Wheel of Time verse, they can't use their own magic. But Obi-Wan, I'm sure, would still be a good warder even without his Jedi powers.
Yeah, he's got great combat skills.
Yeah.
And he's thoughtful and good.
Oh, yeah.
Also, and Lionheart Leah says, I just like Ewan McGregor. Me too.
Not a warder, but Samurai Jack. I mean, not from a book, but Samurai Jack would be a fantastic warder as well.
Great warder. Great warder.
Great. Let's go to number 6. What scene from the books are you most excited to see on screen? And you have one you're excited about. Let's hear
I have one I'm excited about. This one's a little spicy.
Okay. Is it the igloo?
But as soon as I thought of it, it made me laugh so much. What?
Is it the igloo?
It is not the igloo. Ooh,
okay.
But I am excited to see the igloo. No, this one is spicy, but also hilarious. It does include Avienda.
Okay.
I am excited to see Elaine and Avienda's sister ceremony.
Oh, where
that
they're like
weird
born
lesbianic womb ceremony.
Oh,
God, it's so weird and so sapphic and so strange. Yeah. How hilarious would that be in a television show?
We're gonna see what they do. I hope they lean into I hope they lean into like the psychotropia of it, but
I don't think it's gonna make it into the TV show. I think they're just gonna be like, that's weird. Cut it. But Lionheart Leah has a good one.
Yeah, Do My Wells. Do My Wells, of course. That's the Red Wedding.
That's the Red Wedding
that people are definitely looking forward to.
That's the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think Rand walking through the crystal arches at Ruidian. Ruidian. Well, in the audiobooks they say Ruidian. The glossary I think says Roidian.
I've always said Ruidine.
But you're just a dang reader. You're making these up for yourself.
But I was obsessed with the glossary, so.
Oh, were you? Okay. Well, there you go.
I would read the glossary before I read the book.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit,
because it bothered me to think that I might be reading a whole book pronouncing things wrong, and then I'd get like little tidbits and be like, "What the heck does that mean?" You know, I'd like read it. Yeah, or I'd read about like the knitting circle.
Yes.
The women, the knitting circle, and I'd be like, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah, that's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. But
I know, but I like spoiled it for myself, but was so excited to figure out what it meant. I don't
Rand
know.
and Roidian.
Weird kid I am.
The visions of the Isle progressively pass and pass and pass, going to the Age of Legends that reveal on the past of who the Aiel are. It's so good, and every time I read it, I'm just like, so good,
insanely good.
Lil Stink Stink says Egwene serving Elida in that scene, their favorite scene, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, that is going to be epic. I hate using that word. Epic. Hashtag epic.
It's gonna be
But it
so good.
is. It's gonna be amazing. Plus, like the actress who plays Egwene, I already love her. I think she's so captivating and probably gonna be really talented and great. So I am looking forward to that scene. Even though we don't have Elida yet, do we?
No, I don't think so.
At least not announced.
That whole arc of Amerlin Egwene back in the White Tower, it's so good. Moiraine showing up in the tent at the Field of Marilor. Yes, that scene does give chills. Thank you, Grey Aja Sitter. It's so good.
You know what? Okay, this is a scene, but more of a setting. The ways.
The ways are going to be interesting.
The
I'm not
ways.
excited about the way gates though,
No,
because they look weird. And something I just learned last night from Glenn, the geek hippie, the reason the way gates look like they do in the show, where they're just like an empty archway,
right,
is apparently because Rafe.
it was too expensive.
No, he just like was on vacation in like Southeast Asia and was at a temple ruins and saw something that looked like that and was like, that's what I want the way gates to look like, even though it's like completely has nothing to do with the book or the descriptions or anyway.
Okay, it does look cool. Doesn't look like the way gates at all, but it does look cool. So I'm excited to see what the ways look like.
If they're playing that fast and loose with like things that are so carefully described like way gates, it worries me. But okay, here's another scene, less serious one, but one we might see in season 1 if they get into the Great Hunt. Rand and Lan shirtless, sword fighting on top of the tower in Faldara. So
don't mind if I do.
Yes.
Also, so excited for the quarterstaff scene.
Oh God, Matt
the
and
quarterstaff order battle. The quarter order battle. Come on.
I could say cut Gawain entirely if not for that scene because I need to see
like cut him as a character entirely. He's so useless, but that scene is so good.
Yes. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Boom. Oh, nope, didn't work. Okay, there we go. Favorite and least favorite book covers.
Oh man, I have all of them. I wasn't expecting this question because I would have gotten all my books.
I'm gonna bust them out.
Okay. I mean, so listen, here's now when I can talk about the art. The reason why I didn't read the books immediately was because I thought the art looked dorky. And I mean, Lil Stinks think you're absolutely right. The proportions are so wild. Moiraine looks like
she's like 3 feet tall.
She looks like she's 3 feet tall. She looks like literally a little person compared to Lan. Even the horse looks like a toy. Like it's just so wrong. And also, this is supposed to be a 16-year-old boy. Huh?
Yes, this one.
Like whenever this artist, I forget his name, whenever he tries to do teenagers, they come up looking like swarthy, like
just
cowboys who have lived hard for decades.
Yeah. Right? And also Loyal is only like 7 feet tall. He's not good with proportions.
Not good with proportions or like faces or like almost anything. So I think my favorite cover because of how bad it is Lord of Chaos.
Lord of Chaos. It is so bad. Look at this. Look at this.
It's so bad. He saw the description, Rand is broad-shouldered, and was like, great, I'm going to make him 75% shoulders. And also I'm going to give him the tightest pants imaginable. Don't worry, his shirt is unbuttoned. Actually, it doesn't even have buttons. It's just cut that way. It has a random drag car in the background. And then I guess this is Moiraine. Like,
I don't know. Someone just who knows. Let's move on to the good ones. No more negativity. I agree. Lord of Chaos is awful. I mean, look, I love the covers. Okay. Lionheart Leah says Path of Daggers is really cool.
Crown of Swords is hilarious. It looks like, oh my God, it's literally Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, can we zoom in on his face? Because it's literally a like pitch perfect portrait of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. I can't zoom in on his face.
It's so
Path of Daggers is super cool. Totally agree with Lionheart Leah. The banners are perfect. The dragon banner is great. I love it.
Rand will be back.
What is even going on? Like Knife of Dreams. Like they take these boring ass scenes
Yeah, that's like supposed to be Perrin, I think.
Yeah.
Talking to Egwene.
Freaking spoilers here in the Gathering Storm cover. Or wait, does he
Yeah,
lose his
I
hand
hate
in Knife
that
of Chains or
one.
the
Also,
Gathering
like the
Storm?
drawing of Avienda looks bad. Like it just like looks like he did it in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Um. hmm. Okay. I really like to be positive. I like the Path of Daggers.
I don't
I
understand. I'm not
actually.
being negative. I am obsessed with these covers. It's
Oh no,
part
they're
of what
great.
I
They're
love
great.
about it. But I love it
Gathering
because it's bad.
Gathering Storm sucks, says Lionheart Leah. Agreed. It's so bad. So many
It's
cool
so
things happen in these books, and then the guy is like, "What's my cover gonna be?
it's
Man
gonna
standing
be
outside a
looking at a map
farmhouse."
or like hammering out a treaty. Yeah.
Oh, you
What?
can be negative, little stink stick. I mean, we can shit on these covers if that's what we want to do. Um,
But that's
uh,
part of why I love them and why I refuse to have any other kind of series because they're so bad. Honestly, I think the Dragon Reborn one is really good.
I really like the composition of the Dragon Reborn
It's
cover,
actually really good. Like
and
so
this
many of
is
them are badly composed, but that one is
yeah.
composed super well. I love it. I love the way it like wraps
It,
around the corner and you can see the like
mhm.
Guardians of the Stone
And this is how I
coming up.
imagine that scene for
It's
sure.
exactly how I imagine the scene. I think the columns look really cool. They actually kind of look like teenagers a little bit. Not really, but so I like the Dragon Reborn is probably my
Um,
actual favorite.
and
But
I
my
love the Eye
heart
of the World
favorite
cover.
is Lord of Chaos.
I would get a tattoo of the Eye of the World cover. Um, Big Bad Hat asks if that is the house from Knives Out. I think you're referring to the Gathering Storm book cover. Yeah,
Looks
yeah,
like it.
looks
Also
like
looks kind of looks like the house from Psycho. Like it looks like the
just a random house. What is this
yeah.
window? What is going on here?
Yeah, it's like
Anyway,
not an interesting scene either. I remember this scene and just being like, really? Okay.
oh, but have you seen the Japanese covers of the Wheel of Time?
No.
These are sick.
Yo, that
Like, look at
looks
this, like Brigida Silverbow
whoa.
shit. Um, there is some like Lan and Nynaeve.
Oh my god, these are gorgeous, but also like feel accurate. That looks like a
Yeah,
moraine. Ah, sick.
fucking Rand Althor much. The
That's how
Japanese
I
covers
totally
are
see that.
so
Oh
good.
man, I've never seen these before. These are so cool.
Yeah, they're so much better. Um, so the Japanese version was released much more like by chapter, by chunk. So there's like 72 covers or something.
That makes sense. More like
Um,
manga style.
and they're so good. And this is a little teaser for something we'll talk about in the future. But look at that axe.
Look at
Just
that
remember what
axe.
that axe looks like.
What's the shape of that axe? Kind of looks like a half moon.
Sort of like a half moon. That
Sort of
looks
like a
like a
half
half
moon.
moon.
Interesting, like a real axe would be. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on from the Japanese covers. We should just do a whole episode where we go through every single one
I would love
because,
to. They look
oh
so
my
cool. Oh
God,
my god, look at that
they're
Aiel.
so good.
That is
Just like
so
the
cool.
composition is so interesting. And anyway, let's get back to the challenge. What the heck? What's going on here?
Very scary.
Very scary. Let's
Looks
get
like
back.
Shadar Logoth and Matt with his ruby
That's from the
dagger.
Eye of the World. Yep. Yep. I think you're right. Okay.
Scary.
So good. Back to the questions at hand.
What's
Boom.
next?
What's a location in the Wheel of Time you would most want to visit?
The Vagina Island itself. The
Tar Valon,
Vagiland.
baby.
I want to go to Tar Valon. I want to be there. I mean, the Ogier, that's supposed to be like their crowning glory, their greatest achievement
Yeah.
in building
Yeah.
was Tar Valon.
Why are you so
So
small?
I want to see it.
It goes from
Why
this
is
like
it so small?
big ass picture to a small little guy.
View file. Click view file. See what happens.
I did it.
Oh,
I did it.
okay. Well, not
Anyway,
helpful.
Two Rivers would be beautiful. Lionheart Leah says Radian, and totally agreed.
Totally agreed. Ruidian
Just
would be
like,
so cool. And I want to see
especially
the Tree
when
of Life.
after Rand like brings the water from the ground and the fountains are all going again, and that would be so
Amazing.
beautiful. The Two Rivers would be beautiful.
Of course.
I would love to. I would just love to live in the world of the Wheel of Time.
I know, it'd be
Let's look at a
sick.
map. Yeah. Ooh, want to live
Lionheart Leah
here.
says, I always imagined Camelin looking quite nice. I agree. I bet
Yes.
it's like a beautiful
Hanging out
Renaissance
here in
city.
Camelin. I would love to see the White Bridge.
I'd love to
In
see
my
the White Bridge.
homebrew D&D world, I have a city called Icebridge where there is a magical bridge that looks like it's made of ice that no one can explain from an age-long past, which might have been inspired by a little something.
No, could have been.
Yeah, but Tarvalin, I mean, is supposed to be the most beautiful. In Ogier Grove, I would love to just see any
Would
of
love to
them.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely got to be the Vigilant itself, Tarvalin.
I don't need to be in the ways. Not as long as Machin Shin is in there.
Nothing. No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Number 9. Boom. If you could make your own ter'angreal, what would it look like and what would it do? And Mary Lou, to give you a chance to think about this. So Mary Lou and I have been designing a Wheel of Time tabletop role-playing game called Dice to Die. And this is one of the things you can do in the game. And we were doing a play test yesterday with our friend Vic, who has never read the series. And she came up with a new ter'angreal for herself that looks like a tiny, like caution floors wet folding cone thing. And it glows orange when shadows spawn are near. So
It's very creative.
that was her ter'angreal.
Love that.
And then, of course, if I could have any ter'angreal that exists in the series, I'd be tempted to take that red rod.
You're crazy.
Do you know the red rod?
I think. Am I remembering right?
The red rod is the big, sort of weirdly soft red rod that Elaine finds.
Yeah.
And when she channels fire into it, she like passes out and everyone refuses to tell her what happened afterwards, but they can't hide their laughter.
God, it's so funny.
Very funny. One of those like Teleron Rio ter'angreal will be dope too, but we're making a new ter'angreal.
Making a new ter'angreal. Okay, it could be just because I'm hungry right now, but I would want to make a ter'angreal that when you held it, whatever you ate tasted like the most delicious meal you've had in your entire life. So you could be eating a bowl of white rice and it tasted like just the most gorgeous meal ever. So you could eat really healthy and it would still taste like a friggin' Big Mac, you know?
I'd love to hear some ideas from the chat, but yeah, Lionheart Leah just wants that Dream World ter'angreal. I agree, that would be dope.
It would be sick.
I am, of course, a dirty tran, and as a tran, by which I mean a trans woman, I am obligated to say I would like a shape-shifting ter'angreal.
Sure.
But barring a shape-shifting ter'angreal, I would love like a teleportation ter'angreal.
Oh, cool.
Or a ter'angreal that lets me travel from this age to the third age and hang out with my buddies in the Wheel of Time.
That rocks. What would it look like? I know what mine would look like.
Okay,
mine would be... It would be made of gold, and it would be 2 arches connected, like a pair of golden arches.
Okay. Oh yeah, like this, I think
this.
I have a visual reference I can pull up.
Yeah, and it just and it just gives you feelings of like comfort.
Maybe like this. Maybe
that's exactly what it would look like.
This is what it would look like here.
Yeah, that's what my ter'angreal would look like.
Lil Stink Stink says, as Lil Stink Stink, they would want a toilet that transported innocent poops to a nice safe river somewhere, which totally fitting. And out of
Very fitting.
character, she would want one that she can hold that neutralizes her emotions while recollecting things that allow her to process memories without reliving trauma.
That's beautiful.
It's very beautiful. And of course, it's not too deep.
Not too deep.
No, that would be incredibly powerful. It's
If we had
exactly the
Elaine's
kind of
talent
thing.
and we could make Terangrial, that
Yeah, I
sounds like
mean,
a very useful, wonderful Terangrial. They go
and I
through a
think
lot of trauma in these books.
that's one of the theories for what the three arches that they use in the like test to raise women to the shawl might have been for in the Age of Legends.
Processing trauma
Yeah.
as a kind of
Uh,
therapy. Wow.
yeah. And Grey Aja Sitter says that she would love something that aided traveling, and I totally agree. Um, and as far as
Next,
what mine
flying
would look
sucks.
like, if I had a shape-shifting Terangrial, it would look like basically like what would it look like? It would be a little statue of I'm gonna say this is one that lets you swap genders, and
Cool.
specifically, and if you are currently like existing as a man, then the little figurine shows like a woman, and if you use it to swap to a woman, then it like shifts in inverse and looks like a man, and it basically like is always kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum from you, and you can use it to move yourself wherever you want on that spectrum, and it
Love
follows
that.
you around. And a traveling Terangrial, I think, would look like, what would a traveling Terangrial look like? I
Plane
think it would.
ticket.
I think it would be cool to have. Well, a plane ticket would be funny. Um, like a snow globe, but like as you focus in on it, it's like an empty snow globe. But
Oh,
as
you
you
start
focus
to
in
you're
on it,
looking
exactly,
through the snowflakes. What do you see there?
like where you want to be, and then just like you get sucked in, and then you're like there.
Love
Um,
that. That's
yeah.
so cool. I like
Um,
Lionheart's comment, a Terangrial, but it's just a karaoke machine.
I love that. That would blow people's
And you
minds
sound
in the third age.
amazing whenever you sing into it. You just sound gorgeous, incredible. Celine Dion.
Yes.
Great Terangrial.
Let us move on. This is the final question. What's another book or series you'd think Wheel of Time fans would like? And I know one of Lil Stink Stink's answers. Uh, Belgariad.
I don't know that one. I'm going to Google it right now. Belgariad. I have two, and they're both obvious, but ooh, cool, the Belgariad. Awesome.
What are your two?
My two are okay. Most obvious, the Discworld series, Terry Pratchett. If you haven't read it, if you love Wheel of Time for the world building and character development, there almost is no better world building or character development than Discworld. It is so good. It's a totally different vibe, right? It's comedic, but it's still discussing really serious topics. Terry Pratchett. I have good politics because I read Terry Pratchett.
Discworld was so formative for
So
both of
formative
us.
for me as a human being, as a person.
As a human, as like a sense of comedy, like so much of that came from Terry Pratchett.
Right.
And
Funny things can also talk about death and the afterlife
yeah,
and what it means to be a good person and a person in the world and gray areas. And it can still be funny as hell.
it's so good.
So good.
And I
So
want
I
to,
think that one's obvious because I think if you're reading Wheel of Time, you probably already read Terry Pratchett.
yeah.
And so here's my other one that's
Okay.
very obvious because it's also an incredibly popular fantasy series, but also incredibly different, is the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. N.K. Jemisin is, I think, the best fantasy writer out there right now. She's so creative, so brilliant, such a good writer. Little Stink, you gotta read Terry Pratchett.
You haven't read Terry Pratchett? Oh, it's the best.
Lionheart Leah loves the Broken Earth trilogy.
So
yes. The fifth season hooked me, and then the next two books really both leveled up and satisfied me. I just think she's a really, really good storyteller. Really, really interesting worlds, really interesting magic. systems. That's my favorite of her series, though she has several series. They're usually trilogies, or I think she has like a couple that are like 2 books or maybe more than that. So they're shorter series, but they're all really different and really interesting. Love N.K. Jemisin.
Yeah. And before I answer, I want to say, first of all, fuck you, Mary Lou, for stealing Discworld. That was going to be mine.
Sorry, bitch.
And second of all, I want to make it clear, we aren't booktubers.
No.
We are WoTubers.
WoTubers.
And we don't claim to be masters of the broader fantasy genre or any such thing.
More of a fan than an expert.
Yeah, we love the Wheel of Time. And I will admit, like, I'm on my 5th reread of the Wheel of Time, and
I'm on my second.
That comes at the expense of reading some other series. But other series I would recommend, obviously, full-heartedly second, Discworld. And then, what's a good one?
Sorry, I stole yours.
Obviously, it's okay. Obviously, if you like Wheel of Time, you've probably also tried some of Brandon Sanderson's series.
Yeah.
Mistborn is a nice, fun read. Elantris is a good first starter novel.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like his Reckoners series. Even it's YA, but it's really fun and easy. If you're just like,
I know one that you should suggest.
What should I suggest?
Our girl Ursula.
I was gonna suggest Ursula Le Guin, but I haven't read a ton of Ursula Le Guin. I loved The Left Hand of Darkness.
Yeah. I loved Left Hand of Darkness and what's the other one? It starts with an A. Sorry, it's out of my mind. But on my list, speaking of other series we want to read, is the Wizards of Earthsea series by Ursula.
Yeah, those are great. Little Sting says, "Oh sure, people are gonna finish Mistborn and be like a puddle of sobbing sads and be like, Sarah said this would be fun." Look, not my fault.
No,
I take
you can blame it on us, but it is not our fault.
It is fun. I really love the magic system in Mistborn. It's really fun and interesting. I have my. This is not a Mistborn channel. Moving on. Number 11.
How many questions are there?
This is the last one. Let's tag other WoT creators. And I don't know whom to tag.
Has Critter done it? Has Critter done this challenge
Critter
already?
has been tagged by somebody, but we will tag Critter XD.
I want to tag Critter XD.
Lil Stink, have you done this challenge?
Lesby Nerdy. Definitely will tag Lesby Nerdy.
I assume Daniel Green has done this. Lil Stink hasn't done this challenge. We're tagging Lil Stink.
Great Asha Sitter. If you're still out there, we're tagging you.
Yep.
We're tagging you, girl.
We're
Great
tagging
Asha Sitter.
Yes.
Yes, Lil Stink. I do believe you're a WoT creator.
Yep, you are a WoT creator, of course.
Lionheart. I don't know the Powder Mage trilogy, but that sounds very cool.
Sounds interesting. Fantastic. Oh, Lil Stink passed out. Well, that's okay because that was the last question, so they're not going to miss any more of these questions. But thank you so much, Just Some Bodie's Opinion, Bodie at Just Some Bodie's Opinion for tagging us. This was super fun, and thank you, Redeema, for putting together this list of the accepted test. I look forward to hearing what Lil Stink and Great Aja Sitter and Lionheart Leah have to say when they're forced to do it themselves, even though we heard a lot of their answers here, and Lesby Nerdy as well. We look forward to hearing your answers. This has been Maidens of the Spear, where we talk about the Wheel of Time, and we have a really good time.
A really good time.
But wait, we're not done yet.
No.
We're not done yet. We're just going to move on to our next topic of the day, which is what, Mary Lou? This was your topic.
This was my topic, and we don't have to talk about it too long because there's not a whole lot to talk about. But Twitter of Time was sort of, sent into a bit of a flurry this week because of the Steppenwolf theory. So, if we could go full screen, or maybe we can pull up that tweet that have the screenshots.
Here, I'll do you one better, Mary Lou.
Uh-oh.
I'll do you one better. We are going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
a little bit of that,
a little bit of magic, a little bit of channeling going on my end right quick.
Loving it.
And
A little bit of Chrome Aja work over
take
here. A
away
little bit of
this
Chrome
a little
Aja
Chrome
channeling.
Aja, a little bit of Chrome Aja channeling. Mary Lou, give us some Chrome Aja weaving motions real quick. Okay. Yes. It's working. It's working so good. Where is it? It's not working good enough. Mary Lou, you got to keep trying harder. Okay. Everybody in the chat, help Mary Lou. Help Mary Lou.
Click it. Click it. Sound effects too.
I love it. It doesn't want to let me. Okay, that's good, Mary Lou. That's good. You've done your share. You've done your share. Why?
Nice.
Okay, here's what I want to know. Why is okay? Boom. Even better.
So basically, okay. So you remember in the trailer?
Yes, we did it. That was Chrome Aja magic
that was
at work.
Very Chrome Aja, loving it.
Yes.
So you remember in the trailer?
I apologize, everyone, in the credits, but we post these videos on YouTube. Also, and we don't want to just throw people in with no context. So, Mary Lou,
Yes.
give us a little intro, if you would.
Okay. Can we go full screen first then?
Oh yeah. Boom. Hi, everyone.
Nice. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Maidens of the Spear, where we talk Wheel of Time and we have a really good time. I'm Mary Lou.
Good time. I'm Sarah. And Mary Lou, what are we talking about?
Today we're talking about the Steppenwolf theory. Today we're talking about the Steppenwolf theory. Twitter was put into a bit of a flurry this week when the Wheel of Time Instagram account posted this picture of the half moon axe, which we'll talk about whether or not that is an accurate description of whatever's going on right there. And then a slider scale that you could slide and say, how wolfy was this? A wolf emoji. And the correct answer was like very wolfy. Like, or not the correct answer, but like the popular poll results were like very wolfy. It was very high. So a lot of people took that to mean we saw in the trailer an actor who's been cast as Steppen, a warder. That's him, Steppen. A warder whose Aes Sedai dies. That's him kissing her ring at her, theoretically understood to be her funeral. And the theory is that the character of Elias is being subsumed by this character, the warder, Steppen. We know like that Steppen is the one who carries that axe. I struggle to call it an axe. He carries two of them, and he does this awful, stupid leap in the trailer that leaves him very vulnerable to attack. But he does it regardless because apparently somebody thought it looked cool, but I don't think it looked cool. I thought it looked weird. And so we know Steppen carries this axe. And if they're telling us that this is the half moon axe, famously wielded by Perrin, the wolf brother, then that would mean that Elias's character is probably being absorbed by Steppen. So this theory was deemed the Steppenwolf theory.
Yes.
I think the Steppenwolf theory has legs. I do think it's correct. Does that mean I like it? No. And one, let's talk about that axe.
Okay, first of all.
What shape is that, Sarah?
This axe?
Yeah, that shape.
I'd call it like a big old bunch of dumb, stupid axe shape.
A big old bunch of dumb, stupid axe shit. What does a half moon look like?
That's a good question.
It looks like half of a circle, right?
Let's look up a half moon.
A half moon. What shape is that? A half moon.
See. It's like a semicircle.
Weird. Yeah, you see that shape there? It's like a full circle, but in half.
let's go
Right?
back to this axe here.
Now, what is that? That looks like maybe 2 crescent moons. Definitely not 1
Maybe.
half moon.
Maybe. Yeah, we did got him, Big Bad Hat. Here's the thing. I think every single person who read the series, by
Picture
every
that.
single person, I'm just talking about me and projecting onto the rest of the fandom and pretending my
Well,
opinion
based
is
on the
correct.
Twitter responses, Sarah, I actually think you are very much not alone because I definitely pictured what you have in front. Yes, that looks like a half moon to me. And it was described with having a point on the other
Yeah.
end. That
Mhm.
cruel spike that Perrin had
The
such
cruel
a
spike.
tense relationship with the half moon axe with the cruel spike on the other side.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, this is this right here. Look, like,
So first of all, not a half moon.
not a
Second of
half moon.
all, I don't think even that would be a good axe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they could get around that by saying like, it's a power wrought weapon. The blades might look flimsy, but trust me, they'll never break. And like, okay, whatever. It still looks stupid.
It looks
Um,
stupid. It
it
looks like dumb.
this is like style, like just style over substance that I'm really afraid that this show could turn into. Where like, if they're making choices being guided by that would be sick, it'd be so dope. It's not going to be a good show,
No.
unfortunately. Like Garaja Sitter says, I haven't seen anyone who loves the axe. I'm sure they exist, but still, I agree. I think like prop department and maybe Rafe was guiding them with this. They just like got too in their heads about this. They wanted to give Perrin an identifiable weapon. They weren't happy with just a big ass axe, and so they made this thing, and it just looks unrealistic. People who
It's
are like,
short.
it looks
Like,
short.
look how close his hand is to the blade.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, you can't two arm swing that sucker. Like, it's supposed to be like this perfectly balanced but large battle axe that like Perrin, this hulking blacksmith, uses. It's very silly. Very
It's
silly.
really,
Um,
really disappointing.
but aside from the design of the axe, which is just going to be what it is, let's talk more about the potential fusion of Elias into this character of Steppen. And Mary Lou, you seem to have intimated that you're not a fan of that change.
I am, well, mostly not a fan of the axe. I just think it's really stupid
Okay.
and bad.
It's a stupid axe.
And the jump that Steppen does, I think is like bad fight choreography and it's just like not cool.
Little Stink says they feel like the show asked the Lego marketing team what sort of axe they would prefer for Wheel of Time sets and just went with that.
Yeah,
Totally
it feels
agreed.
like they did not consult any real armor makers. Like that's a thing that people still do. People still create armor and like have knowledge and real theories about that. And that's not just imagination anymore. Like we have people that still have those skills. So why weren't they consulted? I feel like a real armorer, a
Yeah.
real iron worker would have been like, yeah, that's not gonna cut it. That's not a weapon. That's like a toy.
It's very silly. Very silly. Okay. I'm just gonna force us again to watch the scene in the trailer.
Let's, because it's frustrating every time.
It's frustrating every time.
Look at Nynaeve being a badass.
Nynaeve's a badass. Okay. Up. This is it.
Here it is.
Look at
There
him.
he goes,
Look at him
doing his
flying
little
weirdly
jumpy
through
jump.
the air. It looks like he jumped up 3 feet and then a wire just dragged him the rest of the 10 feet across.
Yep. Ugh, it looks so bad. I wish we'd do it in slow motion. We can't even see really who he's attacking.
We can do it in slow motion.
Look at himself leaving him his entire body, his entire chest, soft parts, throat, intestines open to attack. It's like such a bad move that no real fighter would do.
Yeah. This is Logain here.
Is that
I
what that
assume.
is?
I think this is Logain being shielded.
And those are the white threads of
Is
the
Logain
power.
wearing those red robes in the trailer? Anyway, as Leah points out, yes, the shield on this person looks weird. I I will say so far I don't love what the power is looking like.
I also don't love what the power was looking like. I thought it would have been cool if Sidar was white threads and then Sidin was black threads. That would have been very interesting. And I think based in the books and theory of white and black, Sidar, Sidin.
Black has to be like the true power.
I guess.
That's shadow magic.
Well, I'm just talking about Sidar, Sidin.
No, I know, but like
the seal being black
just
and white.
Like visually, thematically, if Rand is the light, it's weird if he's like channeling black threads against the shadow.
I mean, you can have you can have black look shiny and like not like I don't know. I thought it would have been cool.
It's the same power though. Marin Skell maybe says, "I know it would look cool: a double-headed can opener or two."
Yeah, that made me laugh as well, Marin.
That is exactly what it looks like. This is such a dumb scene, and I am not looking forward to it. A warder wouldn't do
Asha
this.
Setter says Matrix vibes, but in the wrong way. I totally agree.
This is like Achilles in the shitty Troy movie vibes. Brad Pitt leaping with the spear. It's so bad.
Anyway. So anyway, I'm not opposed to the idea of the character of Steppen. I think it's really interesting that we would meet him earlier, and that a wolf brother is a warder. That is something I never thought of. I think it really kind of hits against Elias's character.
Before you dig yourself too deep on this.
Spoiler free.
Elias was a warder.
Was a warder.
Well, so was Steppen.
Oh, great point. Ooh, interesting. So this could be like a sort of
and we also meet Elias pretty early.
Oh, I know.
In the Eye of the World.
I know. But what I'm getting at is that the character of Elias is so anti-society, anti-White Tower, anti-control, anti-anyone having strings on him, right? So if I'd be interested to see what the Steppen character does, after his Aes Sedai dies.
I'm hoping this is just the origin of where Perrin gets his stupid axe. I'm resigning myself to this being Perrin's axe. I think that's the best explanation for calling it the Half Moon axe.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other explanation for it. I just don't like it. And I am going to complain.
I'm hoping Elias is his own character. But if Steppen loses his Aes Sedai and then, takes on the name Elias when he goes to become a wolf brother, there's just no point in renaming Elias into Steppen. They could have had
why wouldn't
this
they just
random
call him
warrior
Elias?
named
Elias is a cool name.
Yeah, it's very silly. Lionheart says
you're not wrong. Lionheart says Perrin is kind of lame anyway. Listen,
we have a lot.
We have issues with Perrin.
That'll be a different discussion entirely. Lionheart.
Different video. I'm excited to see what the show does with Perrin, to see if they give him a little bit more of a backbone, a little bit more of something.
Well, you heard. Speaking of changes, a lot of people think he's going to be married in the pilot.
So where is the like what is that based in? Because I have seen that, but I don't know where people are getting that from.
Well, they're getting it from people obsessively patrolling casting announcements. There's a character from the Two Rivers, a Two Rivers girl, and people are like, who's it going to be? And they're like, I bet it's Perrin's wife. And then in the trailer, there is a shot of him where you can see that he's wearing a wedding ring, and I'm just scrubbing through to try to find it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, but they don't wear wedding rings in the Two Rivers.
Right.
So it could be just like a ring?
Could be a ring. I mean, it could be entirely a fan base jumping to conclusions for no reason other than they're bored and waiting for the show to come. Oh, it was in I don't
see any reason why he would be married.
Oh, yes. Okay, so thank you, Gray. I was just sitting in the listing sake. There was a character named Layla Ibarra, and in the EU photo shoot is where we see Perrin with
A
the
wedding
wedding
ring.
ring.
Interesting.
Yeah. So how would you feel about that if Perrin has a wife who dies in the Trolloc attack on Winter Night?
Honestly, first gut instinct. Wow, violence against women to to spur on a male character's motivation. Frustrating and a little lazy, but I don't know. Could be fun. Could be interesting. It's kind of the Disney thing, right? The mom always dies. I think it's a little lazy to be like, my wife, I must run. She's dead now for no reason. Like, there's no reason for that. Perrin has good enough motivation to leave. He's being chased by otherworldly shadow spawn, and his friends are going and such.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm a little not interested in this wife thing. I don't know why. Do they think it needed to be made more exciting? It's plenty exciting.
They needed some drama. They thought Perrin in the series, I think he had it too easy, being thrust onto an adventure against his will and coming back to his home after delaying a couple months to find that he just barely missed rescuing his entire family and that his parents and all of his siblings were murdered by White Cloaks and Trollocs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good time.
Like, that's not good enough?
That's not good enough. I think it's like part of their... Little Sting Sting says, see, Rafe was on vacation in Southeast Asia and saw a wife, and he was like,
I want
honestly,
that for Perrin.
that's kind of how I feel, though. Like, some of these changes are just like unnecessary. The Wheel of Time
Why?
it's a really beautiful, well-constructed series that like has its flaws, but I don't think the flaw is that like Perrin was unmarried when he set off.
Yeah, I do agree with Grey Aja Sitter that I think that Perrin has the most to gain from adaptation. Like, his character trope in the first few books is just like, not so sure about this, guys, which is so fucking boring. And he has such potential to be such an interesting character, right? He's strong but gentle. He's incredibly violent but doesn't want to be. Like, that's so fascinating. But what he ends up being is just the like, I'm not so sure, guys, let's think about this.
Yeah,
right, calm down, let's not do anything rash, which is so
he's that kid from the Magic School Bus.
Yeah, he's so, in my old school we didn't do stuff like this. Like,
in my old school we didn't have awesome magical wolf powers.
Yeah, and the way he like refuses to use his wolf powers is just like so tedious and not interesting.
At my old forge.
Yeah, Grey Aja says, I think it sounds like a shock value move.
Sherbet Mango says, just the first book? More like the first 11 books.
Yeah, Sherbet, great point. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating.
Perrin becomes cool as hell the moment it's just a weave, Egwene. And from then on, when he like fully accepts himself as the wolf and he's like master of Teleron Riod and he is just like fucking shit up, that like Perrin is sick from then on. He's like doing his like crazy wolf run, like teleport through the dream back into the real world stuff. That stuff is dope. It just takes him so long to get there. Yeah.
So long. So like, yes, I want him to like grow and change faster, right? We connect with Matt and Rand so much more because we see them grow and change. We see them start one place, learn new information, struggle through adapting to that, and then they come out stronger, better, more interesting. Perrin just resists growing and changing for like 10 books, and it's frustrating.
Right. The problem is like Perrin's power is pretty OP. Like, I think like the only person maybe Perrin at the end of the books couldn't beat like one-on-one is Rand. But there's a chance he could kill Rand if he like catches him off guard.
In the dream world, for sure.
And like, but it just like once Perrin accepted the wolf, then he had like his little training montage with Hopper, and then boom, he's like all powerful.
Yeah.
So there wasn't an arc there. It was just like stall, accept power, all powerful, power level up. he has no growth. And I think like
No.
Robert Jordan maybe just didn't know how to handle that power in a way that felt like a natural progression of strength. And so we have the whole freaking like, Shido arc and have to deal with Fail and the Shido camp and like, it's so boring. And it's like, but I'm just a blacksmith. Let me fix a wagon. It's like, you got to stop fixing wagons, Perrin. You got to make decisions for the camp. There's thousands of people depending on you. It's like, I'm just going to fix this wagon.
Frustrating. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the show like turn him to an actual character instead of just this like frozen thing that we have to witness for 11 books. Boring. Lil Stink Stink says, can I play devil's advocate though? You can always, when you picture a friends group in real life, you can always see someone being the magic school bus friend, just like Gawain being the class fuck up. Like our Robert Jordan just tried to make sure everyone is represented, even those who are annoying as fuck. I agree with you, Lil Stink Stink. I think that was a great place for him to start, right? That makes a lot of sense for a gentle giant who's afraid of using his natural inclinations towards violence and power. I just never saw him change or grow or learn anything. He just gets married.
I think
that's
Perrin
it.
in the Eye of
The only
the
thing
World,
that happens to him is he gets married.
Perrin in the Eye of the World is actually okay. Like, it annoys me on rereads because I know what's coming and it's going to take so long for that to come. But if Perrin started out like that in the Eye of the World, look, like as a reader of fantasy, I read Perrin's chapters where he has this psychic wolf power and he fights against it so hard and it pisses me off because I'm like, do you know what I would give to have magic psychic wolf powers?
And he's like so convinced that it's like, it must be a sign of the dark one. I must be evil. And literally every single person is like, it's not.
No, Moraine tells him it is. That's the thing. Like, he gets told it's not the dark one, but Moraine fucks him up because she's like, look, it's not a thing of the shadow. Wolves don't like shadow spawn, but you have to be really careful because if you give in to the wolf, you'll go crazy and the wolf will take over and you'll no longer be a man.
Yeah, because
she tells him that. And that is scary. And like, I understand, like, it's very like, of course, I read everything in every book I read as a queer analogy, but there are things that sometimes you take way longer to accept about yourself, even if everything is telling you it would be okay to accept it. And I just like, I think it's okay to start there.
Yes, definitely.
I do think eventually it becomes clear, though, like the wolves aren't the shadow. Elias is still human after how many years?
Hello.
Like, he should just, Greyajah Sitter says, Rafe said Marcus Rutherford brought the room to tears with his performance, and I'm hoping he could provide the depths the character was robbed of in the books. And
I'm so excited. I do think Marcus Rutherford is like hot and exactly how I pictured Perrin. Like, I saw him and I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Made perfect. Like, when I saw him, I was like, oh, nailed it.
Okay, I have a question for you. First, I do want to recognize Sherbert Mango said that the Malden rescue itself was good, and yeah, I love that scene.
Totally. Love that.
The rescue is great. Like, that should be in the show, obviously. We just don't need the 10 years of buildup. So here's my question for you, Mary Lou, and for you in the chat, people. So it occurred to me this time around on my 5th reread, and I love doing multiple rereads because every time I see things differently. And Perrin's always like, people think I'm dumb because I'm slow and I just like to take my time to puzzle through all the options.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always like taken Perrin's word for it. That like, yeah, he's a careful thinker, but he's smart. But other people just underestimate him. This time through, I'm genuinely wondering, like, is he dumb?
Smart?
Is he canonically dumb? Did Robert Jordan intend for him to be dumb? And we're just seeing what's inside this dumb guy's head because he's like, everyone thinks I'm dumb, but I don't think I'm dumb.
I think he might be dumb. like all the time, Robert Jordan shows us things where he like gets to things later, right? Like he he has this scene with Min where he like thinks that Min's hitting on him. Remember in the camp in the mountains, the Dragon Reborn camp, or the people of the Dragon camp, and he's like, Min, I just think of you as a sister, and she's like, I wasn't talking about you, and he was like, oh, okay.
He is canonically
Oh,
bad.
were you talking about Rand? And she was like, yes, what? Like, it took him so long to get there.
Yeah, I think he's like I think he's very intuitive. And I think that he is a good leader. I think he is a good guy. And I think he does actually come up with a good strategy to take on Malden. Like, that is him.
Yeah.
And like that, Shan Banner General is like, he's actually got some good ideas. So sometimes there's definitely evidence that he's not dumb. And this is just me I'm pitching this idea. I read the first multiple times I read the series, I thought Perrin was a smart but careful thinker, as he describes himself. I'm just wondering, is he though?
I mean, there's a reason that people call people like bright, smart, quick-witted, right?
Right.
And slow, right? Which one's Perrin? He's a little.
He is wholesome.
Slow. He's very wholesome. He's a himbo. I think of him as a himbo.
We should lay our cards on the table, though, Mary Lou, because we are coming from a very particular perspective of what we value. Yes. Mary Lou and I are improvisers by training and trade frequently. Comedians. And we place a lot of value on quick wit. We place a lot of value on that Matt Cawthon quickness.
It's true.
And
we're a bit biased.
Are terrible long-term planners, terrible delayed gratification, terrible at anything that requires a
discipline,
longer mode of thought,
effort.
So maybe Perrin is just so foreign to us as a type of intelligence that we want to call him dumb to make ourselves feel better.
It's possible.
When maybe Perrin is what we need to be a little bit more like. I don't know.
I do love him.
Lil Stink says, he reminds me so much of my brother in real life. Full disclosure, he's almost 40 years old and hasn't changed from when he was 16. Like, Perrin's slow growth is totally realistic for me. Stares at brother.
A little bit of Arrested Development there.
Yeah. I don't think he is slow, says Sherbert Mango. He just has a very small worldview and low expectations. He's not ambitious, which I do think sets him apart in this world.
That is true. He doesn't want power.
Also, he's a hardcore introvert. His total lack of ambition is what allows him to succeed so frequently. Like his brutal, direct honesty, not putting up with the, game of houses bullshit.
Right. He's forced into leadership, right? Which makes him a good leader.
This was just an idea that popped into my head when I was rereading Eye of the World. I think later developments in Perrin's character, Lord Perrin Goldeneyes as leader of the Two Rivers camp et al. I think he actually is quite smart. He's just different from other characters. And Lionheart Leah says Fail is his ambition. She pushes him, and that's true. She is his Lady Macbeth.
She pushes him. She also pushes my buttons.
Fail. If we put out a character tier list video, which you can find on our YouTube channel, Maidens of the Spear. Little spoiler. Yeah, we're one of those channels that puts Fail in the D category.
Straight up. Lady Macbeth is a great comparison because she's bad.
Yeah. Great. Well, Mary Lou, what are we doing next?
What are we doing next? We talked about the Steppenwolf theory. We did some Bodhi's. We did the accepted test. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I think we kind of nailed it, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to do a little intro video of Shadow Spawn.
Right. I don't know if we have time to do that today.
I don't think we have time to do that. Do we have time for like a quick tier list?
Tier list of what?
Let's rank. Well, it's fitting. Let's do. Ooh. Who's on the Wheel of Time baddies list? Nope, no names. People who make these tier lists just expect me to recognize all these random fan arts of characters.
I don't remember. There was one. What was it? Olivia, right? On the tier list that
Mhm.
we did. And Olivia was like this hot young woman. And I couldn't remember. I was like, who's Olivia? And then I remembered Olivia is the like impossibly old, impossibly powerful Wilder that we meet in like the last book. Who's like way stronger than Nynaeve, and she helps Rand die, right? Because of her insane power. And why would she's supposed to be like a grandma. Why
Yeah.
would they draw her as like this hot young chick? No
Okay.
comprendo.
We're not gonna do
Oh, she's a released demon. Right. She's not a Wilder. She's a released
no.
demon.
She's a
Thank you,
demonic.
thank you, thank you, thank
What are
you,
you
thank you
saying,
for reminding
Wilder,
me.
Mary Lou? Get out of here.
Wait,
She's a
she's supposed to be
demonic.
like a teenager? I thought she was like a grandma.
Oh, I always thought she was like 400 years old. Or
Am I
more.
wrong?
Look, we've been wrong before.
We've been very wrong before. In age, not appearance, she's supposed to look like a teenager. Little
Yeah, because
16.
she's the
Who am I
most
thinking of
powerful
then?
known female channeler of all time. Of the third age, not all time.
Huh.
She has. I'm gonna read her appearance from the fandom WoT fandom wiki. She has blue eyes and golden yellow hair with threads of white. She has fine lines at the corner of her eyes. So she is aging. It's visible that she's aging because she's like freaking hundreds and hundreds of years old. She's 414 years old.
Yeah. She's supposed to look old, I
Yeah,
thought.
I know her personality is childlike. That's
Right. Very
100%
simple.
true. Okay. I've got a little topic for us, Mary Lou.
Okay.
So two things. I'm going to give you a choice, and you're going to pick one of two.
Got it.
So first, I threw out a little poll today, a little
Ooh.
poll on our Twitter channel asking which Wheel of Time character we should write some battle bars about.
Ooh. Okay.
And I gave them some options, and the options were Perrin, Min, Lan, and Egwene. What is your guess on the results?
Lan. I think people chose Lan.
People chose Lan. That's what you think. Let's find out. Egwene.
Wow, Egwene, and then Perrin,
And it
and
was a
then
come
Lan.
from behind victory. Lan was in front at like 16 votes. And then I think like the next 7 votes were Egwene.
Oh, very interesting. I do think that Min would be the least interesting battle bars because
Yeah.
I just don't think she's like super into that, right? Perrin surprises me. I get that that could be fun. There's a lot of like wolf stuff that we could do with those battle bars. Whoa.
Sorry. Going all over the place.
Lil Sing Sing says quickly goes and votes. Egwene battle bars would be really fun. A lot of Amaryllis stuff we could do. A lot of
Sarah
I will not be
DMs.
held in chains.
You can see my private DMs.
Ooh,
with
private
Mary
Sarah
Lou
DMs.
and
Ooh, we could do a sick rhyme about like, yeah, I got bars, but I'll never be in jail. You know,
yeah,
my name may be Egwene's, but you cannot hold me chains.
That's true. That's true. She's got that Damani shit. So last time I looked, Lan was winning, so I had just started planning some Lan bars.
Let's hear him.
So what was I thinking? My Lan shit. Some of my Lan bars that I had like stocked up, I was thinking like all land man dragon. All land man dragarin, Malkier swaggerin, borderland waters in the merge all scatterin.
Ooh.
So I was like getting ready for that, and I was gonna be like, am I smart? Check. Sharp as a knife. Do I have wisdom? Have you seen my wife? Those are my like land bars, but they had to quickly pivot to them Egwene bars.
Hell yeah.
And I was thinking for Egwene, I was thinking maybe somewhere at the end, something along the lines of, oh, you don't have time, you got to eat. We're going to quickly end. Egwene bars were going to be something along the lines of like, yeah, maybe I have shitty taste in men, but in the end, the Amerlin always wins. Look at me, I got so much talent. The crystallized form of the flame of Tarvalin.
Yeah, booyah. Love
Yeah.
it. Lil Sing Sing says,
Uh,
drops rod.
drops rod.
Hell
Drops rod.
yeah. Drop the rod, baby. Love
But
it.
we are gonna work. We are gonna work on that. We'll put out some Egwene battle bars. I also a little a little preview. Perrin Ibarra version of the very old video Washington, Washington, that I've been cooking up in my
Oh my
head.
God. I love
Um,
Washington. He's got like 30 damn dicks.
yeah, he's got like 30 damn galls in this version. So we're gonna do a little bit of that. But that is it from us today. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been so much fun. We do this every week, every Monday, loosely at noon. We usually start between 12 and 12:30. But you can follow us on Twitter at Spear Maidens if you want to know exactly when we're going. How did you not know this is like whose line is it anyway? But for WoT, I mean, we are former professional and current professional improvisers who love the Wheel of Time, so that's exactly what we want this to be.
Specifically musical improvisers.
But
So
we are musical improvisers. But have people come and talk Wheel of Time with us. You come and talk Wheel of Time with us.
please.
And on Sundays, we also stream Dungeons and Dragons with our good friends. And The Crater of Madness is our current campaign. And we're also working on our Wheel of Time TTRPG, Dice Sedai, that you can watch us play test and eventually play for real. But thank y'all so much for being here. This has been Maidens of the Spear. I'm Sarah.
I'm Mary Lou.
And we hope you had a really good time.
A really good time.
Bye.
Bye.